So apparently Sony and PlayStation looked at the global economy, saw inflation, chip shortages, and chaos, and said, you know what? Let's make things worse. But like politely. In this video, we're diving into every single price hike, when it happened, how much it hurt, and why Sony keeps coming back like, hey, we need a little more money. Let's get to it. Let's talk about Sony's relationship with your wallet, because at this point, it's not a one-time purchase, it's a live service. When the PS5 launched in November of 2020, life was simple. Standard or disc edition, $4.99 USD, digital edition, $3.99 US. A fair price, assuming you could actually find one. Back then, the real cost was your sanity. Now, fast forward to August of 2022, when Sony hit us with the first surprise mechanic. Except it wasn't a game. It was in real life. Sony officially announced a price increase in multiple regions due to, and I quote, global inflation rates and adverse currency trends. Translation, everything is more expensive, so now this is too. And here's how it went. In Europe, over 50 euros. In the UK, over 30 pounds. In Japan, 5,500 yen. Canada, over $20. And Australia, over $20 also. Meanwhile, the US was sitting there like, oh wow, couldn't be me. And Sony was like, don't worry, your turn might come later. Now let's talk about why this happened. Around that time, the world was dealing with a massive semiconductor shortage, aka the tiny chips that literally make the PS5 exist. Combine that with supply chain issues, shipping costs, and inflation hitting everything, from gas to groceries, and suddenly Sony's production costs weren't looking so cute. So instead of eating the cost, they passed the plate directly to us. Delicious. Now you might think, okay, but at least things got better, right? That was adorable. Fast forward to 2023-2024, and while the base PS5 price didn't officially jump again everywhere, Sony introduced the slim models, which were basically the same console, just smaller. Well, actually thinner, because it was a lot taller, if you could believe it or not, than the original. And somehow still felt more expensive when you factored everything in. Oh, and let's not forget the detachable disk drive, because nothing says next generation convenience like buying your console in DLC form. Back then, the PS5 Slim was $499.99 for the standard or disc version, and $449.99 for the digital edition. Now, it's $649.99 and $599.99 respectively. They also introduced the PS5 Pro back then for $749, and starting this April, it'll be $899.99. Now let's move on to the accessories, because if you thought, well, at least the accessories will stay reasonable, oh my sweet summer child. Let's start with the DualSense wireless controller. Originally launched at $69.99, which already felt like, wow, this better hug me when I'm sad. Then over time, depending on the retailer and region, prices crept up to $74.99 or $79.99. So now your controller costs almost as much as a full game, which ironically now also costs more. It's amazing synergy. Next up, the PlayStation VR 2 launched in February of 2023 at $549.99. Yes, that is more expensive than the PS5 digital edition at launch. And while not a price increase, it definitely felt like Sony looked at inflation and said, let's just start high and avoid awkward conversations later. Then comes the PlayStation Portal. Released in November of 2023 at $199.99, it is now $249.99, which is wild when you remember this is essentially a device that streams your PS5 from your PS5 using Wi-Fi in your own house. And somehow, with inflation and component costs, even that price started feeling normal. That's how you know you've been conditioned. And obviously, we can't ignore PlayStation Plus because subscriptions also decided to join the gym and bulk up. In September of 2023, Sony increased annual subscription prices. The Essential went from $59.99 to $79.99, the Extra from $99.99 to $134.99, and the Premium from $199.99 to $159.99. That's up to 33% increase. 33%. At this point, even Netflix was like, wow, chill. So when you put it all together, what do we have? A console that got more expensive globally in 2022, accessories that quietly climbed in price, a VR headset that costs more than a console used to, a streaming device that somehow costs over $200, and a subscription service that said, let's aim for your rent money next. All thanks to a beautiful combo of inflation, chip shortages, supply chain chaos, aka the holy trinity of your wallet is in danger. And the best part? There is no dramatic speech. No emotional apology, no CEO sitting in front of a camera like, we know this is hard. It's just Sony quietly updating the price tag, so you still want it, right? And honestly, yeah, we do. And that's the problem. Because no matter how much we complain, the PlayStation 5 is still one of the best consoles out there. The exclusives are great, performance is solid, and deep down we all know we're probably still going to buy that extra controller anyway. So yeah, if you were waiting for a price drop like in the good old PS3 and PS4 days when the older a console got, the cheaper it was, congratulations, you just played yourself. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What's the most ridiculous price increase you've seen so far? And more importantly, at what point do we all collectively say, yeah, we'll wait for it to be on sale? As always, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, the app formerly known as Twitter, and of course, right here on YouTube at J.R. Abrams Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.